Have you ever asked yourself why, despite all your ambition, effort, and even planning, you're still not achieving the goals you set for yourself? You're motivated, you know what you want. Maybe you've even taken action, and yet something keeps pulling you back. You scroll past stories of others making huge progress, changing their lives, hitting their goals, and you wonder, what am I missing? What's the secret? Here's the truth. The number one reason you're not achieving your goals isn't because you're lazy. It's not because you're not smart enough. And it's not because you don't want it badly enough. The real reason? You haven't trained yourself to stay consistent, even when motivation fades. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. Let's dive in. We live in a world that glorifies motivation. Everywhere you look, you're bombarded with inspirational quotes, viral success stories, and feel-good speeches telling you to dream big and never give up. And hey, motivation is powerful. It can give you that initial push to get started. But here's the problem. Motivation is temporary. It's fleeting. It comes and goes. It's an emotion just like excitement, joy, or anger. You can't rely on it to fuel you every single day. And if you're building your entire goal-achieving strategy on feeling motivated, then you've built it on a foundation that crumbles under pressure. Think about it. How many times have you started something with full energy, working out, waking up early, starting a side hustle only to fall off a few days or weeks later? Not because you didn't care anymore, but because life got busy. You were tired, the spark wore off. That's not a failure of discipline. That's the result of depending on motivation instead of building systems and habits that carry you forward regardless of how you feel. Let's be real, social media has twisted our perception of success. When we see someone crushing their goals, we assume it happened fast. We see the before and after, but not the 1,000 tiny steps in between. The missed workouts, the early mornings, the hard choices, the rejections. And because we don't see those parts, we think we must be doing something wrong if we're struggling. But the truth is, struggle is part of the process. Success is rarely about making massive leaps. It's about taking small, consistent steps, even when no one's watching, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's inconvenient. Let that sink in. You're not falling short because your goals are too big. You're falling short because your system for reaching them is either weak or worse, non-existent. Let's talk systems. A goal is your destination. A system is the vehicle that gets you there. For example, want to lose 20 pounds. That's a goal. Your system might be exercising 4 times a week, prepping healthy meals, and sleeping 7+ hours a night. Want to build a successful business? That's a goal. Your system might be sending out 10 emails a day, reading for 30 minutes, and setting aside 2 hours daily for deep work. Now, here's the twist. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Think about that. You can dream as big as you want, but if your daily habits don't align with those dreams, you'll always feel like you're falling short. So how do you fix it? You stop obsessing over outcomes and you start mastering your process. Before you even build a system, you need to dig into your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? Not just the surface level answer. Go deeper. Let's say your goal is to make more money. Why? To travel more. To give your family a better life. To prove something to yourself. To break a cycle of struggle. The deeper your why, the stronger your anchor will be when things get hard. Because here's the truth. Obstacles are coming. Hard days are coming. Self-doubt will creep in. And if your only reason for pursuing a goal that it seemed like a good idea then it'll collapse under pressure. But when your why is meaningful, when it touches something emotional and personal, then you'll have the fuel to keep going, even when motivation runs out. Now let's get practical. One of the biggest mistakes people make is going all in too fast. They try to overhaul their entire life overnight and then burn out. Here's what actually works. Start small, ridiculously small. Want to build a reading habit? Start with 5 minutes a day. Want to start journaling? Write just one sentence. Want to start meditating? Try 2 minutes. Why? Because consistency beats intensity. You can always scale up later. But right now your job is to build the identity of someone who shows up every single day. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, put it perfectly. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and systems are built on habits. Habits that are so easy, you can't talk yourself out of doing them. Your environment can make or break your progress. It's not just about willpower, it's about setting yourself up for success. Ask yourself, is your phone distracting you the moment you try to focus? Are your goals out of sight, out of mind? Do the people around you encourage your growth or sabotage it? Success isn't just about working harder. It is about designing your life so that the easiest thing to do is the right thing to do. That means putting your running shoes by the door. It means turning off notifications. It means spending time with people who challenge you to grow. Change your environment, and you change your behavior automatically. Here's a game changer most people skip: tracking your progress. Because if you're not measuring it, you're guessing. When you track your habits, whether it's a simple checklist, an app, or a journal, you create accountability. You create momentum. You make it real. And just as important, reflect. What's working? What's not? Where are you slipping? Where do you need support? This isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about learning. Every setback is feedback. Every misstep is a clue. And from there, you adjust. You course correct. You keep going. This is how you make progress non-negotiable. Let's take it deeper. At the core of consistent action is this truth: you act in alignment with who you believe you are. If you see yourself as someone who's always inconsistent, always procrastinating, always quitting, then guess what? Your behavior will match that identity. But if you shift that identity even just a little, everything changes. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, you say, I'm a writer. Instead of I want to get in shape, you say, I'm someone who takes care of my body. Instead of I want to start a business, you say, I'm an entrepreneur. Your identity shapes your habits, and your habits reinforce your identity. So every time you show up, even in a small way, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to become. And eventually, that identity becomes unshakable. So, let's bring it all together. The reason you're not achieving your goals isn't because you're not capable. It's because you've been relying on motivation when what you really need is a system built on small habits, anchored by a powerful why, supported by the right environment, tracked, reflected, and refined over time, and most importantly, rooted in the identity of the person you're becoming. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need another podcast episode. You need one choice, one consistent choice made daily. Because your future is not determined by your goals alone. It's shaped by the habits you choose today. So ask yourself, what's one choice you can make right now that your future self will thank you for? Your transformation doesn't start someday. It starts now. Because you're only one choice away.